Hello, people at TasPop Henshin 2026. My name is Everin, and today I am joined by the lovely Willow Engel, is it?
Engel, yep.
I've forgotten that already. I am so sorry. um,
That's okay.
but anyway, I am joined by the absolutely wonderful Willow Engel, um, who is a voice actor out of Burbank, USA. Would you like to introduce yourself, Willow?
Yeah, hi everyone at TasPop. My name is Willow Engel. I'm a trans feminine voice actress based out of Burbank, California, USA. Um, you might have heard me as Ez in Fantasia Neo Dimension, or as Abel in the contingency animations, or as a few things that have not come out yet, but I certainly will hope that you will give those a look too. I'm a writer, I'm a voice actress, and I have a bearded dragon named Cloud Strife.
You have a bearded dragon!
I can bring him out now.
Yes!
Can I?
Yes!
Okay, all right, I'll be right back. This is the baby boy.
What's
This
his
is
name?
Cloud Strife. Cloud Strife. And he is my baby, my son,
Oh my
and
god.
the most handsome little man to ever exist.
Oh, absolutely. Look at those frills.
Yeah, he's a sweet boy. I got him in 2022, and I knew I was gonna name him after a Final Fantasy VII character. But when he turned out to be white like a cloud, I figured, well, no better time than the present.
Now, I've got an icebreaker question for you. What is your favorite piece of Henshin media? As TasPop North is a Henshin festival this year, we're celebrating everything to do with change, everything to do with superheroes and the like. What is your favorite piece of Henshin media?
Oh my gosh, I had to think about this one for a while because as a kid I was obsessed with Power Rangers. Um, but now I do think in my reclaiming of like, things that I didn't really get to watch growing up, I think it might be Sailor Moon. I Sailor Jupiter is my favorite and I aspire to be like her every single day. And also every single outfit they wear beyond their like sailor suits, of course. Are you okay, Cloud? Oh, he just wants to say hello.
Hello.
Um, all right. He's crawling off, but that's okay.
So
Um,
sweet.
he's a sweet little baby boy. Anyways, Sailor Moon. Um, I have like an entire folder on my phone that are just like outfits that the Sailor Moon characters wear to do inspiration for. But also I think it's like obviously, especially for the time, it's incredibly progressive. But it's just like beyond that, it's a really fun show about friendship, and it's got like cool fights and cool characters. It's just like it's everything that scratches that itch.
I absolutely understand. It's a personal favorite of mine. Just free to air television. Occasionally it would play, and it was always just such a joy to kind of watch. Between, of course, Sword Art Online and Magica, which for some reason was being played on a children's television channel. Um,
Oh,
yeah, bit of a culture shock there. um, okay, so now we're going to start with the first question today. This is a personal favorite one of mine. But to give people an idea of the characters that you've played, what is the? I'm going to be asking you a question, and I want you to answer ideally in the voice of the character, but I need you to answer in the perspective, especially of the character that you've played. Um, Answering the question, of course, what is the best way to start the day? And I've got a small list of your characters here if you're able to do that.
absolutely. I apologize. He's being a little bit of a butt.
I feel like this is
uh,
A Chekhov's bearded dragon situation. They're gonna come back later.
yeah, very true. There he is.
So starting with, is it pronounced Jurier? Is that correct?
Jurier. Yep.
Okay.
And I think the best way he would probably mention that how I like to start my day is coffee, black, and that's it. He's such a tired boy.
If you don't mind me asking, so what I will do is after asking, of course, how your character would start the day, I might just ask briefly about them. Um, if you don't mind, how did you get that role? Genshin, I would imagine, is quite a prestigious area to get a voice acting role in. How did that go
Definitely.
about?
So this was before I had like an agent and everything. I found the casting director on LinkedIn just from a few friends like recommending me to reach out. I reached out, he responded, he was very nice, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll definitely be reaching out." Possibly a year passed, and then I got the email and they're like, "Hey, we would like you to come in for extra voices." So it goes to show that no matter no matter how much time has passed, like the seeds grow.
That's
Genshin was a ton of fun to work on as well. I had a blast in the role of Joyer, especially. He's such a goober, but in the best possible way. When I call characters goobers, it's a big compliment.
I'm gonna say a very fun character to play, and describing them as being so tired and only wanting black coffee for breakfast. I relate to that on a fundamental level. There's multiple energy drink cans sitting behind me on the floor.
Oh
um,
yeah, I Monster.
yeah, yeah,
I figured.
yeah. And
No, that's my drink of choice too.
unfortunately, I also really like the Australian lemonade one. I really like lemonade. It's really good. Okay.
Lemonade is very good.
So moving on to the next one, we have Eugene from Adventures of Elliot. So how does Eugene start the day?
So funnily enough, and this I totally get you for mispronouncing it because I mispronounced it when I came in for it. It's actually Eugene. Um, I don't think his name has been said yet in the game, so that's why it definitely does look like Eugene. But he would. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so how would Eugene from Adventures of Elliot start the day?
Uh, I think he would start the day with a very good breakfast, some nice juice, and maybe a book or two to sneak in before I go help out everyone. Um, Adventures of Elliot is an upcoming game by Square Enix that's in the like 2D 2.5D art style, which I absolutely adore. Um, uh, yeah, I don't know if it'll be out by the time that this video is out, but either way, the demo is out, and you got a little sneak peek of Eugene there. He's a total sweetheart, total nerd. Um, he's one of those characters that I think it's very much like he wants to help people and he loves helping people, but he doesn't quite believe in himself enough to really put himself out there. So I think that starting with that and seeing his journey over the game will be very satisfying. At least
That's
I hope.
really so. How out of interest, how intensive was that role? Was it I guess quite an intensive process? Was it something that was? Is this a side character? Tell me a bit about them.
Yeah, so I would say they are the titular Elliot's best friend. They work in the castle with the king. They're kind of like the information dude. They give a lot of info dumps. But because he's very passionate about the world that he lives in and the unknown and knowing more, he's very fun to play. I would say he's not a combat character. At least I don't think.
You
I'm pretty
described him
sure he's
as
not.
reading two books before breakfast. I feel like when you're stressing your brain that much, your muscles don't really have much to work on.
Very true. Yeah, he
Yeah, I
works
know.
out at the library. Um, uh, But yeah, he's I would say as far as like vocal intensity, it definitely wasn't too stressful of a role. He's very soft spoken, but he's also with a role like that, you really have to like get into the nitty gritty of, even though he's soft spoken, how does someone who's very reserved show that they are scared out of their mind or just like completely over happy. So I thought that that was very rewarding to do, and I hope that when the game comes out, people enjoy UEG.
Well, I will actually look after this interview to get an exact release date of that game. So next, we are going to be talking about Easy from Neo Dimension. Now, is it Easy or Ez, actually?
It's Ez.
It's Ez. I've been telling people it's Easy. I got into an argument about this.
Really?
Yeah!
I'm
Uh,
I'm sorry you've lost the argument.
Look, I want to say it was just $20, but I think it's like my pride that's been hit, unfortunately. I'm
Oof.
terrible at pronouncing things. It's an issue.
I
So,
get you.
well, the issue is I'm dyslexic, but I think in words. So I
Oh,
misspell
fair
them.
enough.
Yeah, so I misspell them, then misspeak them. So, Ez from Neo Dimension, how do they start the day?
I would say that he starts the day by waking up, saying hello to all his friends at the orphanage, and saying hi to his pop, and going out and making money. Um, as is my first RPG party member role. I could not believe it when I booked it. I play so many video games, and most of my like top, I would say 10 video games happen to be JRPGs. So to be like in one as a party member was just such a huge honor. It Fantasia Neo Dimension is a remastered port of a really cool game that was initially only for Apple Arcade. But people liked it so much that they decided to give it a wider release, give it voice acting, and that's where I came in. Um, it's it's so hard to explain. It's such a unique experience, especially with having played the game as well. Um, to describe like what kind of RPG it is. It's turn based, but it also has like a lot of really cool things here and there. The sets that the environments that you go through are like actual dioramas, which are incredible. Um, and yeah, Ez is in there, and he is one of the party members that you meet. Starts off as a little bit of a not punk, but a little gremlin, let's say.
A bit of a
Um,
bratz, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And as we make through the story, we learn that there's a little bit more to Ez than people might have think. That a lot of what he externally shows as to who he is a lot of performance and a lot of masking to be the person that he wants to be and can help the best way he can. So
So
I love Ez.
it's a bit of like a class clown syndrome sort of thing.
Very true. Yeah.
So if you don't mind me asking, so you've played a lot of JRPGs, and I'm assuming you've played Neo Dimension. How did it feel kind of playing and hearing yourself in that environment? Did it throw you out or describe that feeling?
Um, as I know, most voice actors are, of course, but as a voice actress who is a huge nerd, like I grew up on nerd stuff and things like this. So to it's a little silly, but I guess the first time I heard my character show up, I'm like, that's not me. I don't. That can't be me. What? What is going on? Um, it's a very surreal feeling. Being a performer in a game that I would, play and have loved playing. Um, it's it's emotional, but it's the best type of emotional. It's cool that I get to, play these games along with like my partner and my friends, and experience this story with them, experience the full story that's like not just in as his view. Um, it is a huge honor, but it's also just an incredible, like, uplifting feeling to be like I helped with this.
That must feel honestly incredible. The idea of like, I'm in that. I did that. Um,
Hmm.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Um, so moving on, we have our our second last. Now this is something that was listed on your IMDb, but it's not something I actually saw listed on any websites that you've been featured on. And it's your role as Damien from Outlier. I've actually never heard of that. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a while back. That was
I think it was 2020. Is that right?
oh my gosh, it could be. I believe Outlier. No, 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 no. Wait, I'm getting very confused. Wait, maybe? I'm so sorry. Do you mind if I just take 1 second
Yeah,
just so
no,
I can? Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Um. Okay, that has not come out yet. That's still in production. So TBD.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, at the very least, could you tell us how Damien starts the day?
Um. Damien likes to start the day by waking up, disassociating through breakfast, and then going to work. Yay.
I have never related to a character more in my life. So, since there's not too much information you can give us on there, I guess there's just the question of what's the anticipation like, I guess, waiting for this project to come out.
It's definitely intense. Um, I think every time, and I'm sure a lot of other voice actors think this way as well. There's a time between when you like audition and then go in for the studio and then just wait for the game to come out. The anticipation is real, and as from a fan's perspective, um, it's very much like kind of peeking your eyes out where you're like, is this it? Is it happening? And it's very cool to be like, oh my gosh, this is something I'm in that I can't talk about because it's not out yet. Which has happened like a few times before. Um, but it's kind of like what I was mentioning about earlier. It's a very surreal experience. But it's also fun to be like, oh hey, these this is a game series that I know of. Um, Got to keep my eyes out for it now. And it's interesting knowing too that like, oh hey, this thing that you would like is coming out soon, and you it's like a big old secret until the cast list drops.
So, from at least what you've described, it seems like a lot of the roles you've taken seem to be roles that you're quite passionate about. So, I guess not being able to actually view it in that complete sense must be absolute torture. um, So, I've got one more question from one more character, and this is from a yet to be released. Is it a web series, web comic? I don't know what the correct term is. But this
It's a webtoon
webtoon.
with
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, with like visual aids. Um, you're talking about contingency, right?
Yes, I am. So I am talking about
Okay.
Abel from the yet to be released Contingency.
When I get up, I start the day with a cup of optimism and 2 cubes of smile. He's a good egg. He's a good bean. Um, just like a total sweetheart. And I know I say that about a lot of characters, but I do think Abel in particular is just a character with like a lot of joy in his heart and a lot of love for new experiences. He's very gung ho, but he also knows that the things that he has to do, he has to do well. There's a lot of pressure on him.
So, contingency itself. So, with webtoons, I know that a lot of the casting calls for that don't tend to be through agencies. They tend to be like open call outs. How did it look for you applying for that role?
So this one was very interesting. I actually got a message from the creator of the comic, and they're like, "Hey, I think you might be good for this role. Would you be able to send us over some test lines?" And I did, and they were like, "Awesome! We would love to have you on as this character." Um, there's, I think it'll be out by the time I say it, so I think I can say it. Contingency is really cool webtoon where when the story gets intense, the author um, will draw storyboards of certain scenes, almost like video game cutscenes, um, as companions to the comic. So that's what I was initially cast for. I got to do like a really cute intro for the character, where the artist like drew me and let me promote some things, and Jasmine the artist is just so incredibly nice.
That is actually
Um
how I found you, funnily enough, through one of these.
yeah. Yeah, so it's fate, strings of fate, butterfly effect, whatnot. All
I,
that jazz.
I do think it's quite thematic that we've started with Jiryu, who starts the day with a black coffee. We've ended with Abel, who loves a cup of sunshine, two sugars, and a wink to the barista who made it. Um,
Exactly.
so, with that said, and now we have a much better idea of who you are. The lovely Willow Engel. Engel. I
Engel.
need to. I'm so sorry. I would like to say I'm gonna edit that out, but I feel like I need to sit in that for a minute. So moving
it's
on to
it's
yeah.
I was just gonna say it works. I think it's very funny. I like it.
So moving on to our next few questions. Now we're in the second half of the interview. We've got a much better idea of who you are. I guess I just want to ask more in-depth questions. I guess, or as in-depth as I can, possibly. So I guess this is starting with a question asked by someone in a Discord called Sunny. And the question is, what's your favorite Pokemon? I feel like, it's as in depth as you can get right there.
I have a visual aid for this.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Metagross. Um, I my first Pokemon game ever was Sapphire, and I at that time I didn't really know anything about like how the Pokemon games worked, so I barreled through to the champion, and then this guy shows up who like before this was never seen in the game, and there's just this feeling of like awe and wonder, like what is this thing, this cool metal spider monster. uh and I think that feeling of awe hasn't left me since. I love Metagross. He's there a good little four-legged computer.
I know exactly what you mean. I started with emeralds, so you get them in the post game, and just getting that Beldum, it was just so magical. And then you try to train it, and 40 hours in, it's not going anywhere. It's still a level 2 Beldum or something. But yeah, Metagross, top tier pick. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Now, so for our viewers who are watching today, Willow has very, very, very kindly offered to give their perspective on a question just in regards to them being a trans voice actress. So this is something that we've been prepared for. Don't worry. But I guess I'm gonna hit the ground running and ask: have the roles that you've been offered changed since you've come out as trans?
Yeah, I would say they definitely have, in a positive way though. Um, I I've gotten the honor of playing a few trans roles. One is still in the back works, so I don't know if that'll be out by now, but as soon as I can announce that, I will. But it's really amazing, like playing roles from a trans perspective. I feel like as trans people, we have a very unique and kind of unlike anything else perspective of life and gender and identity. So it's a ton of fun playing those roles where I specifically get to explore those. There's this game coming out called Our Life Now and Forever, where I play a character named Ren who ends up coming out as a trans woman later. Um, and so I would say, you know, I love being able to share that story in more places. As far as like other roles, I definitely am able to play just like cis women. I've done that before. And I'm also able to play just like guys. I think there's a like misconception that trans feminine voice actresses don't want to play male characters. But for me at least, and for a few of my friends, I just love acting. I love playing male characters. It's it's it harkens back to just like when you were a kid and you could play and imagine, and characters like that have no like restraints on gender. So I think that I've definitely been offered, well, it would definitely be messed up if I was offered trans roles before I was trans. Or before I
I
came out, of course.
yeah.
um
I was gonna say, yeah, like I mean, the first trans voice actor that actually comes to mind for me, who I feel like has actually would agree with the misconception, I guess, that you've said. Yeah, so this is the person who played Scarab in what is it, Scarab and Fiona
Kaylee
and Cake.
McGee.
That's how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the person who played Scarab from Fiona and Cake, playing a I think Scarab is listed as non-binary if I remember correctly, but they of course have that much deeper voice, which is not what their voice actor actually sounds like in person, from my understanding.
Yeah, and Kaylee is a close friend of mine. She's just super awesome and kind. And she's been obviously a huge inspiration as far as my journey has gone. And I think that we probably could both agree that playing any type of role is just really fun. And I've heard. I think a friend told me, they're like, so you've stopped playing male roles, right? It gives you dysphoria, and it's like, no, it doesn't give me dysphoria. I love doing this. I am me. These roles are times I get to play. And I think that's where it might like get a little jumbled for people. But I just love acting. It's so much fun. It fills my cup, as they say.
You mentioned that it's really changed your perspective in a positive sense with the roles that you've gained. If you don't mind me asking, so I've noticed that on your resume, at least, and the stuff that's listed online, you have voice acted in a few different commercials. Do you see that happening less these days? Or do you feel like your career is slowly transforming into that of a, say, video game, animated series, webtoon voice actor?
It's hard to say. I would say commercials are definitely what I do least of. Um, but it really comes in waves. Like I would say, last year, it was a very like video game centric year, whereas this year, with things like contingency and a few other things, it feels more like of an animated year.
And I guess that kind of does lead into our next question, which is, do you have a dream role? I mean, you've had a wonderful and marvelous opportunity to kind of represent, in a sense, trans people in voice acting. Is there a role that you are just dreaming of getting, whether it's an actual, like, specific one that you want to get, or if it's something that a series you'd love to actually voice act in? And is it a dream role because you get to be a trans person in that role, or is it a dream role just because you think it'd be cool and you want to be in Star Wars: The Clone Wars Mark II or something?
Uh huh. um, I think I do have a lot of dream roles. I would say my dream project is a fighting game, possibly Smash Brothers. I am incredibly competitive when it comes to fighting games. So that's been like my white whale. I wanna be a fighting game character someday. As far as specific characters, my dream role has always been Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. Um, he is my favorite character ever written. Um, he's my favorite. He just kind of tops like most of my favorite lists. Favorite hero, favorite like playable character, protagonist, fighting game character. Um, so I think Cloud is definitely the the whitest of the white whales because he's the one where I think if I got that role, it would just be like, okay, everything is everything is perfect.
You can
Um,
quit. You can become an, I don't know, a tax agent now. Voice acting not going to get any
yeah.
better from here.
um, no, but I would say like there are certain characters that I really like that I would like to get the chance to play. Doctor Doom, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Those are ones that I'm like, these are my favorite characters, so I'd really love to like, play as them one day. And I guess the very basic trans girl answer is it would be very fun to play Bridget from Guilty Gear. But
I have never played a
um,
Guilty Gear game in my life, and Bridget's reputation precedes them.
oh yeah. um, no, and I think that Bridget being a trans character, that we like see the story of them coming out is really powerful. Um, I think people often are like, Bridget doesn't have anything to do with the story of Guilty Gear, and it's like, yeah, that's true, but we still love her
She's
because
living her
she
best life.
goes exactly, yeah.
Hell yeah. And I guess that then leads into the next, I imagine, much harder question. Um, are there any roles you regret doing? And I don't just mean, oh, I came out and it turns out the creator punches babies. I mean more like, is it a role that maybe you weren't in the right headspace for? Maybe it was early days, you're just not happy with the way you did it. Are there any roles that you just think, I wish I didn't do that? Or wish you maybe did it differently?
I think there's definitely I'm a bit of a sci-fi girly, so I'm always thinking of like timelines and stuff and butterfly effects, and I wonder like if I didn't do this, then would I still do this and stuff like that. So in that sense, I wouldn't say I regretted playing any roles. Um, at least as far as I know, none of the creators of things that I've been in have come out and been like, I love punching babies, which it's scary. It's always a possibility, but no, I would say that I'm all the roles that I did, I put my best foot forward and tried my best on it. At the beginning of my career, I would I just didn't quite have the tools to understand what separated voice acting from stage acting. Did a lot of like stage and like a smidge of film acting in high school and college. Um, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's a
um,
pipeline, I feel.
oh yeah. I think my last big role, and this was before I had come out, is I played Jason in the Medea. Um, and it is so much fun playing a villain, and I hope I get that opportunity again soon. Because it's just an absolute blast. But I think definitely near the beginning of my career, I think I would have liked to just like train a little more, understand like what I needed to be doing better near the beginning, and submitting auditions and such like that.
Oh yeah, that's a terrific answer. Thank you so much. I really couldn't have asked for any more detail. What passions led to voice acting? And I guess to kind of spin off a question that someone in the Discord asked, how do you kind of develop those passions in voice acting?
Yeah, it definitely was a bit of a journey. I had loved acting my entire life. It's, I guess, I like to say it's technically in my blood. Have you ever seen the movie Psycho? Alfred
Actually,
Hitchcock
I
Psycho?
haven't, but I am very aware of it.
Okay. My grandpa was actually in that.
So you're a nepo baby.
No, I am not. I swear to God, I am not. My grandpa, pretty much only played supporting roles, and he passed away before I met him. He was very insistent that my mom not go into the arts just because it was very cutthroat. So
I imagine,
I
especially back in the
definitely.
day, before a lot of unions as well. Before there was a lot of
Oh yeah.
just, I mean, let's be honest, rights for actors, especially side actors.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. So I'm not I guess I'm a nepo baby by blood, but not by anything else.
So, continuing on from that, I guess, yeah, like how else did your passions, I guess, progress into voice acting? What was the moment you realized that I guess it was something that you wanted to do as a career?
Mhm. Um so I would say beyond just the fact that I really liked acting. I did a lot of stage acting in high school and college and like even middle school and elementary school. Um I really fell in love with the worlds behind animation and games. And while I love I would say like overall I just love stories, but especially as a kid growing up, without very many friends, um the characters in those shows, like Yugi Moto and Seto Kaiba, they were my friends. Um, but I really like lost myself in those, and so when I was looking for a major in college, I was thinking, I love animation, I love acting, I know exactly what I need to do. I'm gonna go to school to be a film director. That did not work out very well. It, I before that I had loved like making movies with my friends, just like silly little like short comedy films. Um, but being in film school was definitely the moment where I was like, nope, this isn't for me. So my first year of college that summer, I go to the Denver Comic Con because I used to live in Colorado. And I go to a panel of voice actors. And that was the first time it really hit me. Wait a second. People do this. There are people behind those voices. I can do this. And as soon as I realized that it was something I could do, I just hit the ground running and I was like, this is my life's goal. I finally the puzzle pieces have connected. Um this is what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. And it was a lot of like training, like online classes and such, which really helped. But I would say that it definitely it's not a what do people say? It's a marathon, not a race. It's definitely different timing wise for everyone. And it's taken me a little bit, but I like to think that, you know, going back to timeline stuff, everything happens for a reason. And, I'm just very grateful that I get the opportunities I do to play these roles.
So, if you don't mind me asking, and of course, if you're not comfortable answering, that is a okay. But are you a full time voice actor, or is this something that you're attempting to get to be full time?
Yeah, so I'm not a full time voice actress just yet. Um, Definitely that is the goal. But like I said, it's definitely it's one of those industries that can be frustrating because it's like there is no step 1, 2, 3 result. It's step 1, 2, 1.5, 2 point, and like darting everywhere. Um, so not full time yet. I do still have a day job, but the ultimate goal is to one day be full time, and yeah, we're working through to that day.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Now, as we kind of get to the tail end of our interview today, and it has been absolutely wonderful, thank you so much. I actually have a question for you. Crazy, I know. The interviewer having a question for the interviewee. Do
Yeah,
you
I can't
have
I can't handle this. I gotta take it. No, I'm kidding.
now?
Uh,
I'm understanding that you have a webtoon, sorry, a webcomic that you're releasing at the moment.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and my very dear friend, Moosh7221, who is a fantastic artist, and a fantastic person, are working together to do a comic. It's called Why Am I a Girl in My Favorite Video Game Series. It's purposefully kind of like a parody of isekai stuff. But it's more obviously I don't want to like spoil anything, but it's definitely from a pretty staunch trans perspective. And beyond it being like a comedy, it's also a story about this character understanding who they are, getting to be someone that they never even thought that they would have the chance to, making friends that care about them, and learning about them too. So I'm very proud of it, and I hope everyone will give it a look.
Currently, at the moment, so is that series mapped out, you know, multiple issues in advance at the moment, or is it something where it's really a on the go sort of, we're going to try and make this story malleable? What does that look like?
So for me, I did the writing, and I do a lot of writing, just kind of like from personal project stuff. So this was definitely I've got the story, beginning, middle, and end. But me and Much just started enjoying doing it so much that we started to go back to the script and be like, and let's sprinkle in a dash of this here, a pinch of this here. Um, so I think overall, when I'm doing a story, it's definitely got to write out everything I want to write out, and then I get to go back and apply the frosting.
That's amazing. Now, again, we're at the tail end of the interview now. So just quickly, are there any other projects you'd like to mention that you've been working on recently? Anything you'd like to promote for yourself? Um,
Ooh, I don't think so. Just thank you so much for having me for this interview.
it has
Um,
been an
uh,
absolute honor, if I'm being honest.
oh, that's say thank you so much. And Chekhov's bearded dragon, where are you? He's right here.
Yeah! Hey!
He's very sleepy. He fell asleep on me, but
Oh, sorry, I love lizards. A friend of mine has a pet skink, and it's just so
oh, I
adorable.
love skinks.
Yeah, no,
Here, let's
it's this big and crawls in my hair.
Aw.
So
Yeah, Cloud. There we go. Dun dun dun.
they are so cute. Oh my gosh. So thank you so much. So for everyone in the hall at the moment, we're going to be having some lovely panels coming up later in the day here at TasPop Henshin 2026. But for now, we're going to be saying goodbye to Willow Engel. I said it right that time. I said it right. So so we're going to be saying goodbye to Willow Engel. Thank you so much for joining us today. And yeah, for all you attendees, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure to check out the vendors hall. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you so much.